Minbo. Thank you so much for taking our time to interview with us. For the viewers, may we request you to please share your journey, your story in your own words.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So like the journey, I think for me, I'm a bad example on the GMAT preparation part. However, for the applications aspects, I think I could be a good example. So like I only get GMAT score at the 640. I know this is not a great score to get admitted in the top business school. However, I got the admission successfully from the both two schools I applied. So during this whole journey, I think that I really work hard. So I also took a 1 week off to answer all those questions we shared by the Expert Global. So you guys are really a great help for me during this journey because even though I get a GMAT score maybe just above 700, so that is like top 10% of the students in the world. However, if you do not know that's who you are and then what do you want to do in future, I think you still will not be able to succeed in your application. However, like with the Expert Global, so they help us to think how to introspect yourself and then to think your past and then why they will give you a bunch of questions. So it also take a lot of time to think. After answering those questions, you will gain confidence because there were something that you actually have done it before. However, because you have never dig into it, so you never get a chance to realize that's how amazing things you have achieved so far. So after you gain the confidence, so this is the key points you will get. And then when you have your interview, during the interview, so the two key things they are looking at from the applicants, the first one that's you're good enough. So only when you're confident about what you have done, then you will have that confidence in your face. The second one is that you are deeply interested in your target school. So this is the one thing that I have done through the conversations with the alumni. So I actively look for the alumni in the LinkedIn, and then I get the information I want this from the schools. So that's why I think that I got both successful admissions.
Awesome,
Yes.
that's great. So, with the benefit of hindsight, what are a few mistakes you believe you might have committed in this process?
The mistakes.
Mhm.
Okay. So for the GMAT, I really, underestimate the difficulty level of GMAT for me because I'm not a native speaker. In my past experience, I also never have an education in English material. So it's quite challenging for me to prepare for the GMAT because it requires you to answer questions. Like first, you need to comprehend the question and then answer the question in 2 minutes accurately.
Yes.
So for me, I only know like the basic conversational English. So at the beginning, I spent a lot of time in the vocabulary part. However, I think that I also committed a mistakes there because I only focus on the vocabulary. So I would advise the future applicants, to start your applications on the verbal parts, like all aspects, because verbal have three parts. So you prepare all of them together, not only just focus on the vocabulary. So that is the first one. And then second, that's do get your GMAT score early because I initial plan is to apply 3 to 4 schools. However, because I only get my GMAT score at a very late stage, so I only able to apply 2 schools and then in the round 3. So everyone knows that for the round 3, so the seats is much, much less compared to the first round and second round. And then even though if you want to apply the scholarship, even though your profile is very competitive, you won't be able to get it.
Right.
So I would say that on the GMAT part, do start your GMAT preparation early.
Yes.
Even though you only wanted to do your MBA maybe just after 2 or 3 years. So, but the GMAT score, the validity of it is like 5 years. So just get it started early. Yeah.
Yes, that is true. Starting early, I think really helps and it goes a long way. So, what were the main GMAT resources that you used during your preparation?
In the end, I found out that the OG, the official material should be we stick to. Like, even though I know that Manhattan, the questions are very difficult, very unique, it may help us to get familiar with the new questions coming out from the OG. But that's just it's assumption only. So it's not justified it. So you have to go back to with the original resource released by the, and then after that, for the GMAT preparation, so you also need to take mock tests.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is where I think that you need to go to those websites like GMAT Club, or even for us, because we are Chinese, so we also have plenty Chinese platform for us to practice. So yeah, get a mock test website.
So according to you, what is the ideal frequency of mock tests that the aspirants must take?
I think once in a week at least. So this is the normal frequency before your RED exam. If your RED exam is just happen like 1 month later, then you should double the frequency, because the GMAT exam is an exam to, to test that's how effectively you can manage your time.
Right.
So during the GMAT exam, so even though you could answer all those questions correctly in the end, but if you did not manage the time properly, you still, won't get a good score. So taking mock test is very important. So you should, double the frequency if your exam just like 1 month away.
Absolutely. So, how was your experience of applying to B schools, and what are a few things you believe you did correctly in successfully achieving the admit?
The application journey at the beginning, I think there are few phases for me during this journey. So at the beginning, I was a little bit scared. I was not confident about the business school. And what I have done is, like I said, I talked to the alumni, and then I know that what type of people are my opponents. So after knowing my opponents, and then I know that actually I also stand a good chance. And then the second thing that's really, hire a professional consultant. So they will help you to think in the direct way, help you to save the time.
Right.
The third one, like also talk to the admission outreach team. So this is a group of people that you should actually, especially before the interview, they actually will tell you what kind of questions the schools will ask you during the interview. And then they also will tell you more about the program, and then about the, success stories about their students. So, and then after I have done all the three things, that I gain more confidence. And then one more thing that I gain a confidence while I watching the videos from the Expert Global. So I think that played a big role in the selection. So altogether, I think the key for the success is, you know yourself well. Like what is your weapons can use to get the selection done.
Right, that is true. It's so important to actually introspect on our own goals and to know ourselves better in this journey.
Yeah. Know our own goals. I also need a professional to guide us that what are the qualities that the business school they're looking at.
Right.
Because if without Expert Global, I have to say that I will not know that my arranging is actually my advantage instead of a disadvantage. Yeah.
Right.
So that's, I think, have helped me, because after that, I have, in a way, I have showcased a little bit during my interview.
All
Yeah,
right.
because during my interview, so the admission team only asked me like 2-3 questions. They even asked me a question that's we cannot imagine that how did you overcome all those adversities and then reach here today. So I think that is a great acknowledgement I get from the school before the selection result.
Okay, that's awesome. So, with what area in the application process did you struggle the most, and how did you overcome that challenge?
Struggle most, of course, like to know yourself. I think there are a lot of questions you need to answer. So, however, I still have a full-time job to play. And then I also need to take care of my family because of the family crisis I'm facing right now. I got no choice because I want to get admitted and then start my MBA soon. So I have taken 1 week off. However, for the profiling questions, I stay up very late.
Okay, so what would you like to say about your learnings from managing the application timelines?
So there's a metric called urgent importance metric. So you have plenty things need to do during your application, but you need to categorize that what are the things that are urgent and important. You should get those down. Yeah, at the same time, of course, that's a professional team. They could help you because they will keep checking on your progress and then send you a reminder in a way as a external force. So keep you on track. So those are the 2 things that I think that helped me during this journey.
Okay, that's really nice. So, would you like to share your interview experience with the B school?
Okay, so I only applied 2 schools. So that is NTU. So the NTU, the admission team are very friendly. I would say that very friendly. And then they also care a lot about your possibility of getting a job successfully after the MBA. So this is one thing that earlier I did not expect that much during a selection interview. So that's because after I have done so much introspection about myself, then of course I will know that's what kind of possibilities I have after MBA. I also give them, a great answer, I think, because they know that I definitely will be one of their success story. So they select me in the end. And another interview I took is from the SMU, Singapore Management University. I would say that the questions they ask me, 80% of the questions are not the common questions. I think I have met an unusual interviewer. So he somehow very interested about my job and then also very interested about my industry. However, himself has a prejudice about my industry and my job. So the challenge for me during the interview is how to let him understand my industry well while I still do not offend him. So the thing at the beginning I have done is, to just tell him that say everything, only say that's from your point of view. Don't say that everyone says that. So in a way to let him to get your idea accepted more easily. And then second one, because you really have to know yourself and then you also need to know about your industry. So those are the things that actually the interview also will look at. So you also need to be very familiar about the industry you're at right now and then what kind of problems your industry are facing. Because the business school, they want to test whether you have a business acumen. So those are very important to prepare before the interview.
Absolutely. We need to have the knowledge of the field we are working in.
Yeah.
So, what are a few common mistakes that you would advise all the future aspirants to avoid?
3, the first one, so it's a general one. Get your GMAT score done early. So even though your plan is like after 2 or 3 years later, doesn't matter because validity is for 5 years. And then second, during your GMAT preparation, do categorize your mistakes. So at the beginning, I did not categorize mistakes, so I have wasted a lot of time. I realized that actually some of the questions, I keep answering those wrongly. So I repeating the questions. So after you categorize the mistakes, then you will know that's why or well you are weak. Okay. So then the third one, that's because for us, like we are still need to do full-time job. So the time is very limited for us. So if financially possible, then go and get a one-on-one coaching because this is a way that you will get a chance to chat with your instructors or teachers timely. However, if you go with the group sections, I think that you won't get that chances. So even though at the beginning, maybe people will think that the group classes will be cheaper. It's more cost effective, but I have experienced both group session coaching and then the one-on-one coaching session. I have realized actually both ways so spend equally, similarly. So that's why I would say that if you still need to play your full-time job, go and then get a one-on-one coaching session because that is more customized learning for yourself. And then the fourth one, I think, start your application early. So don't think that, answering profiling questions in maybe just 2-3 days work. I have done it for like 10 days. So don't think it's very easy because you need to do a lot of thinking and then the answers don't come out very easily. You need to dig very deep.
Yes, that is true. So, what would be your final message or suggestions to all the viewers watching this video?
Be confident about yourself and then if possible, hire a professional consultant. Yeah, that would be my final message to the applicants. If they're not financially possible for them to hire consultants, and then you check the websites of Expert Global because there are plenty of videos for you to understand yourself.
All right. Thank you so much, Minbo, for giving us your time and interviewing with us. So, all the best for your MBA journey.
So, wish Expert Global will have a great success ahead as well. Yeah, wish to meet you guys in person in future as well.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah, see you guys soon.
All right. Yes.
We hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more informative content.